Will extra door seals on the Model 3 actually improve wind and road noise? And more importantly, can I prove it? Short answer, yeah, I think so. So the idea here is that a lot of luxury cars have additional door seals to help keep wind and road noise out, and it also helps keep the door sill cleaner. A few companies are selling kits for the Model 3, and a Tesla Motors Club member came up with a do-it-yourself solution, so I wanted to give it a shot, mostly for keeping the door sills clean, but I really wanted to see kind of more scientifically if it actually does make a difference in wind and road noise, since there's a lot of anecdotal evidence out there saying it does or doesn't. To compare, I recorded background noise of my car going 60, 70, and 80 miles an hour on autopilot on a fairly smooth highway, and I'll go into more details at the end of the video for those who care, but first, here are the results. First, I compared the baseline audio at each speed to see what really changes. You can see in this chart of frequency versus sound level, the lower frequencies are actually the loudest of all, and by quite a large margin. It may not seem that way, but it's because our ears are less sensitive to lower frequencies. There's a relative decrease of over 20 decibels from 100 Hz to 1000 Hz, and then over 40 decibels from 1000 to 10,000 Hz. And since we perceive a 10 decibel change as twice as loud, that's really a big change. We're most sensitive in the 2000 to 5000 Hz range, so that's where things get most interesting here. You'll need some good speakers or headphones to really tell the difference, but here's what the three different speeds sound like. Next, I'll show you the before and after at each speed. At 60, there really isn't much change, so here's what that sounds like. At 70, there's beginning to be a clear separation between the two lines, with the red generally below the blue, and here's what that sounds like. Then at 80, the separation is even more pronounced, especially from 600 to 2000 Hz, and here are those clips. To really help illustrate the differences, here I subtracted the before measurements from the after measurements to really show a difference of the relative change. So here's 60 miles per hour and the clips again. Here's 70 miles per hour and the clips again. And here's 80 miles per hour and the clips again. So you can see it makes up to a 4 decibel difference at 80 miles per hour. And that's really not a huge difference. It's not like you're going to get in the car afterwards and go, oh wow, this is so quiet. But it helps, and it really doesn't weigh much, and it really doesn't cost much. It's only about $30. And it does have the added benefit of keeping the door sills cleaner. I've done some pretty extensive sound deadening in the past in a car with foam and Dynamat, and it still wasn't as quiet as the Lexus that I had at the time. So I'm not really convinced that adding a bunch of weight in materials will do as much as, say, a suspension upgrade. So that's something I'm considering, a smoother suspension. So let us know in the comments if you have any other ideas for things that you've done or that we should try, and especially if we can record your car and compare to mine. As for details on how I did this, I'm using two different shaped seals, the Z-shaped and the P-shaped. The Z seal goes along the front edge of both the front and rear doors, and the P-shaped goes along the bottom of the front and along the bottom and rear of the back doors. You'll need to order 1 pack of the Z-shaped and 2 packs of the P-shaped. I have a long-range Model 3 with 18-inch wheels and tires and about 16,000 miles on them. They're aired up to 40 psi. The weather was clear and 40 to 50 degrees at night with few cars around. I had the car's air conditioner and music turned off. I set autopilot to each speed while I recorded 10-second clips using a Tascam DR05 with the sensitivity set to -30. I just handheld it above the center console, kind of like this, so it would be isolated from the vibrations in the car. I opened the audio clips in Audacity and found clean 2-second clips where there were no extra noises from other cars or bumps in the road, anything like that. And then I did a spectrum plot set to 8192, which I exported from Audacity to import into Google Sheets for these charts. I also exported each sample as FLAC files so that I could play them back during the video. Pretty simple really, but I think it will be a consistent method to be able to test other things in the future and maybe even compare between other people's cars. I'll leave links in the description for the products that I used and for the Tesla Motors Club thread about it. I ended up using a different seller from the guy in the thread because the first seller took way too long to ship and then they shipped me the wrong thing. So just watch out for that. I hope this is helpful. Leave us your comments if you have any ideas for what else we could do, and thanks for watching.